morning, everybody. My name is Mozah Al-Tenaijy, and I will be talking today about my experience in transforming Introduction to Translation into a blended course. A general outline about my presentation for today. Of course, at the beginning, I will give an introduction, short introduction about this course, course learning outcomes expected from the student by the end of this semester, delivery mode, teaching and learning pedagogies, transformation process and platforms, areas for future enhancement. This course, Introduction to Translation, is basically introduce students to basic principles about translation theories and help them develop their translation skills in translation. Also, they practice translation in both directions, English into Arabic and Arabic into English. Usually the targeted number in this class range between 25 to 30 students. The expected learning outcomes is basically number one, to identify basic concepts, principles, and skills related to translation, analyze text at basic level for the purpose of translation, identify tools and documentary resources needed for the translation, produce adequate translations of short text from English into Arabic and vice versa. What is a blended course? Of course, as we all know, it is a combination between face-to-face instructions with online instructions, and usually it represents from 25% up to 75%. In my case, and in this course, I used up to 30% for the online component, which is equivalent to approximately 11 online classes. Why blend this course, and what is the benefit of blending this course? Of course, is to raise the student engagement, participation in the class, facilitate the learning process, increase the learning options for our students, provide multiple resources for students to search for the information, have the online materials accessible for them. Basically, they can watch the recorded videos multiple times. They can pause and rewind the videos as much as they can or they want. As for the teaching and blended, learning pedagogies, I usually adopt a student-centered approach. We use a flipped classroom, group work activities in the class. For the flipped classroom, students usually answer some questions that could be related to a new topic. We will maybe cover next class. So as a preparation for the class, I might post some questions on the discussion board and have them answer the question before the next class. Or sometimes I post my recorded lecture on the Blackboard, then ask them to answer the questions related to the topic discussed in the video. For example, if we meet every Sunday and Tuesday, let's say from 10 to 11:15, and I assign this class to be delivered online, I post my recorded lecture at 10 as our usual class time. I give them instructions ahead of time on what they have to do. After they watch the video, they have to answer some questions and submit their answer before the class ends. I take the attendance based on the submission of the homework. Those who don't submit their work will be marked absent. I also assign some grades to encourage the student to take the assignment and the homework seriously and submit them. So next class, we meet face to face and we discuss the thing that wasn't clear for them. And I ask them some questions to make sure that they have actually understood the topic. Then we proceed with the next subject. Here, we will talk more about the process and steps for transforming this course. As I mentioned, the main change involved in this course particularly was involving or replacing any class teaching or face-to-face with 30% web-based online learning. As for the steps for blending this course, first I identify the activities that I will be delivered or that will be delivered online. Second, I prepare my lesson plans and script. This is for recording the lecture. Then choose the method of the delivery. This actually represents the platform that I will use to deliver the online content or the recorded lecture. Then after I finish recording my classes or the topic, I post it on the online, I post the online lecture in the Blackboard. Here I came up with a classification for the activities that would be delivered in the class face-to-face and the activities that will be delivered online. Here I just would like to mention that I actually started this course to teach it as a blended course in the semester where actually the COVID-19 started. So I didn't actually get the final outcomes or evaluated as was intended. Because I think I started in spring teaching, spring I think 2020. Then until then I think COVID-19 started the end of March. So I started actually at the beginning teaching some classes on campus and some lectures online. But later on, we were forced actually to teach the rest of the classes online using Collaborate Ultra. So basically, Collaborate Ultra was replacing, in my case, the live interaction in the classroom or face-to-face interaction with the student. So if we go back to this classification, basically how I classify the online component with the face-to-face component. Under the face-to-face, we have the course introduction. This will be represented basically at the beginning of the semester, where we discuss the syllabus with our student, and we try to introduce each other, the student and the instructor. And as I was taking the training in the CETL, they were advising us to at least dedicate the first couple of weeks to be on campus to get to know our student, and we know their personality. And so later on, when we start teaching online or some of the classes, so we know our student. Also, some of the lectures that would introduce new concept or background, advanced discussion. This will also be under face-to-face. Quizzes, midterm, and final exam. The preparation of the exams will be conducted online in the Blackboard, but the actual exam will be conducted in the classroom under the supervision of the instructor. This, of course, to eliminate the cheating and some of the issues that is common among some of our students. But of course, because again of COVID-19, we are all forced to conduct this exam online, completely online. Also, some group works in which a translation is discussed. This sometimes we assign some classes to be discussed on campus. Of course, in case we have guest speaker, this will be on campus. As for the online activity, recorded lecture using Beyond in my case. And for this course, I was using a platform Beyond to record my lectures. The exam preparation, assignment exercises, reading, discussion board, project submission, all of this will be part of the online activities. Here I have like a small table where I show by weeks the classes that was delivered face-to-face and the classes that was delivered online. As you can see, maybe the first 2 weeks were completely face-to-face in dark pink. Then in week 3, you will see one class in the week delivered face-to-face, and the next class was online. This, of course, depends on the topic we are discussing and what the topic I think that it is better to be discussed either on campus or as an online component. Starting, I think, from week 8 to week 15, you can see that in each week, I was delivering one class face-to-face and the second class online. This actually represents the translation workshops. For the first class, actually, I prefer to meet with my student and discuss the problems that might encounter in the translation and what are the techniques they can use to solve these problems. And in the next class, as I post like a text to translate for them. They translate it completely. Then we come the next class and we present some of course, I grade this assignment ahead of time before we meet the next class, and I show some of these samples on the screen. I share their own translation on the screen, maybe 2 or 3 students without their names, of course, and discuss the weaknesses, the mistakes, maybe a better way to give a translation for specific sentences or some terms, for example. We give them feedback and we listen to them, and if they have also other questions. I would like actually to share a Word document with you. So I think I will stop this part. This Word document actually represents the course outline, basically by the week and the delivery method and the assessment I was using and the activities involved under each topic. Maybe as I already explained, for the first couple of weeks was face-to-face. Then we started delivering the online component. Okay, towards the end, here what I was explaining from week 8 to week 15. This is actually all translation workshops. From week 8 to week 11, we translate text from English into Arabic. Then from week 12 to week 15, we shift the direction of the language. We translate text from Arabic into English. If you can see under the delivery mode, as I mentioned, I dedicate the first class when we started these workshops to be delivered on campus or face-to-face, to make sure that they know exactly how they can approach the text and what they should do when they translate the text. Also, I explain for them the rubric or the criteria I will be using for evaluating their translation. Next class, I post a text for them to translate. They have their time, they know the criteria. Then they submit it within an agreed time. Before we meet the next class face-to-face, of course, I grade all of these translations. When we meet face-to-face, I share with them some samples, as I mentioned, and we discuss their errors, their mistakes. Towards the end of the class, I show them a model translation that could be acceptable. And this is for the rest of the classes. I give them a text to translate. They spend some time understanding the text, analyzing the text. Next class we meet and we discuss their translation. That's it for this part. Can we go back to the presentation now? Okay, to choose the platform, basically I chose Beyond to record the lectures and to be posted as an online component for my classes. Also, I use Kahoot, Quizlet, YouTube to assist the students understand some of the topics or theoretical part, PowerPoint presentation, forum discussion, and Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. As I mentioned in the original proposal, Collaborate Ultra wasn't actually intended to be used, but because of COVID-19, of course, I use Collaborate Ultra to replace face-to-face interaction or live interaction with the student. Here I have just some examples of how I was recording my sessions. I was using the platform itself. Beyond, I record my lecture and post it there. Then here in the Blackboard, I organize them according to the what was intended in the syllabus. I post the recorded lecture. Then after that, I post the assignment or the homework that is related to the video. So in this case, the student will watch the video, then they have to answer the questions that is related to the video directly. I also pay attention that these videos shouldn't exceed 3 minutes or يعني maximum. The length I recorded so far was 5 minutes. If the topic is very long, I divided the video into multiple videos because I know the student cannot focus for so long time. So I just try to give him the main important ideas in short videos. This is just another example. I post the video, then I attach another maybe assignment or homework to go with it. This is another, I use also Google document. I post some question for the student and they have to answer it, these questions, then submit them. Kahoot, usually I use Kahoot maybe before the exams as a revision for the student. I write some questions for them. I get them all involved to answer these questions. Sometimes I also use them at the beginning of the class as a warming up to as a revision. I post 1 or 2 questions related to the previous class. Then we proceed with the next topic. Also, we have Socrative. Sometimes I use it. So the student can also, I use it at the beginning of the class. I post 1 or 2 questions. Student can see their grades who answered the question completely correct, or if there were some mistakes. Here I will talk more about the noticeable improvement after going through blended course transformation. The student can see their score and result after the test and the exam directly, after they submit their exam directly. I think this is one of the things that our student was happy about it. They can see their grades directly. The student can access and replay the recorded materials via Beyond at any time. The information was presented and delivered to students in a simple way. The use of the games like Kahoot and Quizlet increased the number of student participation in the class. Blended course transformation saved the time of me actually as an instructor in terms of the grading. Areas for future enhancement. Actually conduct a student survey to learn more about the strengths and weaknesses and area for improvement needed for this course. Increase the number of the exercises using maybe different tools and applications. Number 3, increase the number of the online component within the percentage, of course, of the blended course. Because currently I feel more confident actually about using, for example, Beyond. So I can increase the percentage of the recorded lectures and of course within the percentage allowed for the blended course. And maybe I can use even another or learn another technology and integrate it as part of this course. As a conclusion, transforming this course into a blended course helps the student to interact effectively in the class. Using the smart technology helped me as an instructor to submit the grades faster and on time. For the future, I will try to involve the student in more teamwork activities by utilizing a new technology. And thank you very much.